Bonjour, you're watching Women's Wrestling Weekly, the #1 women's wrestling show on the planet. My name is TK Trinidad, aka the Canadian Assassin, and we have nothing but an amazing show as we have every week. We have an amazing guest. She is a Stardom wrestler, the Pink Dream. Please welcome Alex Gracia. How are you doing?
Hello, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on. Your hair color is like my hair color all last year, and I'm very envious. I love the pink.
Thanks. It's like totally different. I started wrestling with black hair, so I was like,
Yeah, something different.
yes, exactly.
So I was looking through some stuff. It looks like you started wrestling last year, 2018.
Yeah, so my first match was February 22nd, 2018. So I'm a little over a year now.
Yeah. So what made you want to get into wrestling?
Oh gosh. Well, like I grew up doing athletics, and when I went to college, I knew I wanted to do something in the sports and entertainment industry.
Hmm.
So just like looking at majors, I was like, I'll be a sports reporter. And so I pursued journalism in that, and even after college, I went on and worked in television and radio,
Oh,
but
nice.
something was missing, and I think it's because I've just always had that competitive side of me,
Hmm.
and I really felt like I need to be out there doing something. And so then just reevaluating everything, I was like, what has sports and entertainment and athletics where I can just kind of
Combine.
put this all together? And here I am.
Oh, nice. So wait. What university did you go to?
I went to Texas A&M
Oh,
University
nice.
in
That's a
College
good
Station,
school.
Texas.
And then what sports did you play?
I grew up playing softball mostly. My that was my love for sure.
And now, did you play sports in college as well, or?
No, and so that was a big ordeal also before, because that was the whole plan all along, was I'm
Hmm.
gonna go play softball in college,
Right.
and I decided that I'm not really like in love with it like I used to, and
Right.
so I wanted to take a totally different turn and have a different kind of college experience. But at least I was still able to be around the athletic department and be around different sports,
Hmm.
so I still got that urge filled that I needed.
I know it's crazy. I know like a lot of people who did sports throughout like high school and college. It's like they never get rid of that bug. It's like you always
Yeah.
almost like an athlete at heart. So no matter what you do, in your adulthood, like the chance where you can be an athlete, you're always going to kind of gravitate towards that.
No, absolutely, because I mean, you're probably going to practice every single day. You have games on weekends. It's 24 hours a day. And
Hmm.
then when you just totally take that away, it's like, wait, what do I do with my life now?
Yeah, it's crazy. So you decided to go towards wrestling. Tell me about your first experience, like in like training wise, when you took your first bump. How was that?
Okay, so my first day of training, I literally showed up in a full face of makeup. I was wearing all pink, like pink tank top, pink yoga pants. I had my like pink tennis shoes, and I could just feel like the heat and the stares on me when I walked
Uh-huh.
in. Like it's like this girl, like she doesn't have has no idea what she's getting into. But I mean, like I knew like I wanted to do something physical, and like I really don't look like, oh, like I'm gonna go in the ring and like beat your butt. But I
Right.
was just like the urge of that, like, because I finally was feeling that competitive side of me. But our first week was all just cardio, and
Hmm.
pretty much they're just trying to like get you out of there. And it's like, oh, okay, 50 burpees, like let's go. And they're trying to get me out while people in the class are dying, and they're like, and I was just like, I'm not leaving. Like y'all aren't getting rid of me. And so like after a few weeks and just even bumping, like once you're like, it is a shock at first
Uh-huh.
because it's like, whoa, it's something your body has never experienced before. And even running the ropes, I had lines of bruises on my
Oh
back,
my
and like it
goodness.
just looked like I was totally like abused and beaten, which I guess I kind of was doing that to my body. But
Right.
I mean, once I started kind of getting the callus on my back, I'm like, okay, how do I bump harder? I want to bump harder. Can I bump from the second rope? Can I bump from the third rope? Like, just to practice, because I'm like, okay, if I can do it from the top rope, then I'll definitely be able to bump like standing on the ground, no problem. So it just like every single thing, I was just like, how do I do it better? How do I do it more? Like, I want to be the best at it.
So, how many people started in your class?
Well, I came in with one other guy, and he only lasted 2 days.
Oh, wow.
Um, yeah, he walked out, but there were about 20 people total at training.
Hmm.
So there were 5 girls at the time, which is a lot for a wrestling school.
Hmm.
And um, just as time was going on, just with injuries and everything, before I made the move to Reality of Wrestling with Booker T in Houston,
Hmm.
there was only one other girl in me.
Oh, wow.
So every other guy every other person at training was a dude.
Now, what did your parents think of this decision?
So when I came with them with the idea, I like sat them down. I'm like, listen, this is what I want to do, and this is why. And I kind of like had a little presentation
Oh,
for them,
nice.
like, oh, okay, I did athletics. Okay, I did this, so I can still utilize my degree. This is something I've been thinking about doing, but I had to pursue a degree, and I've done everything y'all have wanted me to. And
Hmm.
so just give me a chance, because I felt so lost in the direction I was going, and I
Hmm.
just wasn't happy like in my career field. And again, it was just because I was like missing something. I'm like, what is it? And I was like, let me just try this. I was like, I need to just totally go outside of the box, and like maybe it'll work out. And I have not left ever since. So as things started happening for me, they're like, oh, like maybe you're okay at this,
Yeah,
keep going.
I mean, the fact that you did sports in high school too, it's just you had that mindset. Now, you went to
Yes.
Booker T's wrestling school. What was that experience like between the two schools?
So they invited me to go over there and check out the school, and I kind of put it off for a while. And then October of last year, I went and checked it out, and he just has an amazing setup. Like, you walk in, um, it looked like a little miniature NXT,
Hmm.
the way he has it set up with the big screen. So like when you come out, you get a full entrance, like you feel like you're somebody.
Right.
And then he has the 2 rings in the back, for training with weights. And that's how he sets it up, is he's like, oh, this is like pre-K for WWE. And that's how he wants us to kind of get adapted to. So we clean before we train, we clean after we train. It's just that type of culture. He's just trying to drill it in it to where it's like this is natural. And when I was there, I was like, oh my gosh, like I need to be here.
Yeah.
And I was gonna leave for Japan in a few months, and I told them, I said, when I get back, I said I'm moving down here. And they're like, okay. And sure enough, 2 weeks after I got back from Stardom, I was in Houston, and they're like, oh, all right.
Yeah, I've heard a lot of great things about that school. Now, tell me about Stardom. Like, how did that come about?
So they contacted me about 6 months after my first match. So I was like, oh, this is a prank. Like, they emailed me and all this stuff, and I was like, there's no way. Like, shaking my phone. And um no, I like was like, then they followed me on Twitter, like that, the official account, and I was like, oh, maybe it is them. So then I replied, and I was like, oh, hi, thanks for reaching out to me. And they pretty much were saying, they were interested in bringing me in on a tour, and they needed to know within like 2 weeks.
Oh, wow.
And so I was like, oh my gosh, like I was terrified, because just the experience I had at the moment, I had only been doing matches for 6 months. I'm like, how am I gonna go over there and wrestle some of the best girls in the world? But then I sat back and told myself, I said, if I go wrestle with the best girls in the world, I was like, that's just gonna make me so much better.
Right.
And so I finally like got the confidence and I was like, okay, like let's go. And they're like, please don't announce anything until we make the official graphic and the official announcement. And I was like, okay, cool. And so that came out in October and went on my way. And it was really cool because I got to celebrate my 1 year wrestling anniversary in Japan.
That's crazy. So how was that experience? Like I've spoken to a lot of folks who've been there, and everybody's experience is a little bit different. So what's your experience like? You know, you're 6 months into it. Obviously, you have the confidence that if they didn't see the confidence and the talent, they wouldn't have emailed you. So what was that experience like? Now you're in Japan. You know, what's going through your head?
It it was a lot of pressure because even the girls that were on the tour with me have been wrestling a lot longer than me, and to me I was like, "Oh my gosh, they're so good." And I was like, "Everyone here is so good." And I just told myself I'm going to fake it till I make it pretty much. And so like every match I'm like going out there like I know what I'm doing, but even if I don't, I'm like I'll make myself look like I kind of do.
So what was the one thing like what's the takeaway that you took from your experience in Japan that like you're carrying throughout your wrestling career or even life-wise?
I feel when I got back, my confidence in the ring definitely skyrocketed. I feel like now I can wrestle anybody, and no matter who I'm in the ring with, I feel like I can hold my own. And so that's definitely what I took away because I would be terrified before matches. And of course, like I still get nervous. The nerves are always going to be there.
Mhm.
But now I'm excited to get in the ring and I'm like, okay, who am I wrestling? Like and it's it's like a challenge for me, but a good challenge. And
Yeah.
so it's not like I'm scared of the challenge now. Now I want to like take it on.
And now, who have you had your like your best match with so far?
Oh man. I feel like I've had pretty good matches with AQA. She's at Reality of Wrestling.
Okay.
She's just super athletic, super agile, one of the most athletic girls I've ever witnessed in my life, and also Thunder Rosa.
Oh, love Thunder Rosa. She's
Yes,
awesome.
she definitely pushes me past limits that I didn't even know were there, and she's kind of been there with me since the very beginning
Nice.
because she used to own like Sabotage Wrestling. And just 30 days into training, I went and did a seminar, and she just said, whatever, however you want to be involved, we want you to be involved until you're ready to wrestle. And
Hmm.
so that kind of gave me my foot in the door. I ring announced for them until eventually I was on the card.
Nice. And now, who do you want to have your matches against, or who do you have like a list of folks that you're like, man, I can't wait to wrestle with her or him?
Oh my gosh. I've always wanted to wrestle Sue Young.
Oh yeah.
Um, I think that will be really good. My dream match though is Alexa Bliss.
Oh, that would be kind of. I could see that. I could
Cause
see that.
like we're the same size, and I was like, okay, like this could work. And there's never anyone my size that I wrestle, so I
Hmm.
think it'd be a really interesting thing to kind of see like the matchup.
Yeah.
That
Nice.
would that's dream match for sure.
I like that. So, what's your ultimate goal for wrestling?
Definitely to get signed somewhere. So wrestling is my career. I already feel like it is my career,
Hmm.
but definitely that contract wouldn't hurt.
And now there's so many contracts now. I mean, AEW,
Yes,
WWE.
it's great.
Yeah, it's there's a lot more opportunities contract wise. All right, so we're gonna do something called rapid hot tags.
Okay.
Women's Wrestling Rabbit Hot Tags.
So I'm gonna ask you a question. You're gonna it's all good questions, and you just say the first thing that comes to your mind. So always early or always late.
Wait, I'm picking one or the other.
Yep, you can say whatever whichever one you are.
I'd say always early.
Last person you text.
My mom.
If you can listen to one album for the rest of your life, what will it be?
Jackson 5.
Ooh, that's a good one. If you have one superpower, what would it be?
I would want to be able to speak any language in the world.
I like that. Weekends or weekdays?
Weekdays.
Costume parties or pool parties?
Pool parties.
What is the one thing you love about yourself?
I would say that I'm not afraid to be myself.
And if you could binge watch one, what was the last show you binge watched?
I watch Keeping Up with the Kardashians all the time. So no matter what time of day, what episode it is, a decade ago or the new episode, I'm there.
Yeah, it feels like this season's getting a little bit on the serious end of things. It's kind of
I
interesting.
know.
So it's like, okay.
I love it.
Yeah, it's good. Now, if you were a crayon, what color would you be?
Pink.
So she's like, isn't it obvious?
No.
Any big matches coming up that we should look out for?
So I have Wrestle Circus next month. That'll be really good. I have that. Some other things that are in the works that until they're like official,
You
I
can't
don't
really
want
announce
to jinx
it.
them.
Okay. Is there anywhere else that you want to travel to? I mean, you already done Japan. Do you want to do UK, Mexico, Canada?
I would love to go to UK. Definitely Mexico also.
Yeah, those are two good ones. Now, where can people find you?
So on Instagram and Twitter, it's at Alex Gracia 3. So ALEXGRACIA and then the number 3.
Do people often mess that up? Like, is that your name, or is that your family's name, or did you?
Yeah, that's my name, and it's my family's name too. And I'm like, why is it so complicated?
I don't know, because I think I said it at home the right way, and then I thought the other way, and then when you text it, I'm like, oh yes. So I think it's just
happens all the time.
it's just a glitch. Well,
So
everybody.
I'm like, oh, it's like thank you in Spanish without the S.
Yeah, everybody will know it. If you don't know it, make sure to follow. So say your Instagram handle again.
It's Alex ALEX Gracia GRACIA and the number 3.
Thank you so much for coming on. I look forward to seeing the rise of your career. This is only the beginning. I mean, man, stardom. That's a good way to start. So definitely look forward to that. Other than that, you guys can follow us on WPW Weekly on Instagram and Twitter. Definitely, if you're watching us on YouTube, hit that subscribe button. If you're listening to us on iTunes or Spotify, leave us a comment, say what's up. We really appreciate that. Other than that, you guys can find me on everything at TK Trinidad. Till next week. Ciao, guys.
From executive producers Kevin Undergaro, Maria Menounos, Phil Svitek, producer TK Trinidad, and me, Mark Donica, your voice of AfterBuzz TV Wrestling, we ask you to rate and comment on iTunes, subscribe to AfterBuzz Wrestling on YouTube, and find us on all social media. Thank you for watching Women's Pro Wrestling Weekly. See you next week.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.